Good morning, family and friends of Oakland Cemetery. We're back at section 1, and what we were doing, we were in the process of GPS mapping the Oakland Cemetery, and the individual stone that's directly in front of me is Marguerite Biver, and according to the cemetery map, there was a Biver in this area, so we got Miss Marguerite Biver. We were able to locate her. And then there was also a photo request in Find a Grave for another one. It was Clemens Biver, C-L-E-M-E-N-S Biver. And that request was placed by an individual. So, and I'll get the dates for you here in a second. But basically, we use the cemetery map to confirm that the individual was actually here. So we did have a Biver, but we didn't get specific as to if there was a spouse or whatnot. And we kind of discussed this in previous videos, where if you have a family plot or a family stone, they may not have all the room to put all the names that are on there. But we definitely knew that there was an individual by the name of Biver, which Marguerite's up here. And Clemens Biver was the individual that we had, or there was trouble kind of finding this stone. So I'll kind of read you a couple of things here. The profile was created by Miss Dawn Billick, who probably created well over, probably a majority of these sites or grave memorials for Oakland Cemetery. She's done well over 40,000 of them, and probably well over 4,000 of the ones for this site. And then there's a detailed inscription for Mr. Clemens Biver. It says, France, Corporal Company 8th Infantry Regiment, World War I. And the individual passed away in 1960, and that's important for a reason which I'll explain here in a second. But there was a photo request for it, and by Chris M. It says a photo request of the headstone. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks in advance. So usually a volunteer may come out here and try to attempt to look for the picture, take a picture of the individual, and then post it up. But individual who did a lot of work here in the cemetery, Miss Lotta, she actually posted the death certificate, which is very helpful in knowing where the individual was buried. So she posted that. The other thing is she attempted to look for the site location for Mr. Clemens, and here's basically what she wrote. She went to the site. She was able to determine that Marguerite Biver was there, which is the one that's in front of me. And there was no marker beside her, so she basically used what would have been a probing tool of some sort to see if there was a stone that was either overgrown or hidden in the area. And then he was in the military, so there's a good chance that you will either have a military marker, so it can be the large stand-up marble or granite stone, or it could be a flat stone. And then Ms. Lauder basically communicated with Ms. Billick to see if there was a picture there before, and that was the last known inquiry about the specific site, which was in 2017. And then the request was just a couple months before in 2017. So what Mr. Harmon and I did is that we were kind of give it the last go to see if we can determine where the stone is. And if you look behind me, or actually not even behind me, I'm going to point out to the right, you have this corner marker, and then right behind me where the shovel is, there's more corner markers this way. A while back, this cemetery had walkways and borderings, so if you tried to use your probing tool, you would just continuously hit a solid base, but it won't be a foundation stone or a tomb. And in fact, they just brick for a walkway, which makes it very difficult to find a particular stone. The other thing we mentioned is that Miss Marguerite Biver passed away in 1967, but Clemens Biver, he passed away in 1960. So there's a chance, especially with military stones, that the husband, if they got moved to a different cemetery, or if the spouse remarried, they may have been placed elsewhere. But we know that Miss Biver's stone's here, and usually since she passed away after he did, they're usually placed to the left of the individual or to the left of the spouse. And so we probed around all in the area to the right, to the left of Biber as you see it. We could not find anything, and then of course the map took us all the way to the Booth stone. By using the map you can kind of triangulate where you are, so you got Sims to the right, Booth to the left, and we could not find a stone in between. So what we ended up doing, we went 6 feet basically towards the camera, and then 6 feet behind this Biber stone, and that's where pretty much went to the ground, went to the ground, went to the ground, and then eventually we got to that point right there. Now, we could get our hopes up and thinking like, oh, we might have found a stone, but there's a fair chance that once again this could have been the walkway. We've run into that plenty of times. But luckily, we were able to go to the left a little, and then it started sinking down, which is a good sign. Then we moved to the left, and it started sinking down. And then, as Mr. Harmon has annotated, we have 4 PVC pipes, kind of marking off where the stone potentially could be. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a handsaw to cut off the grass mat. And then hopefully when we peel back, we should have a Mr. Clemens' site. And if we don't have Mr. Biber's site, we're going to have someone else's site. So we'll see you in the next cut. Alright folks, we're at Clemens' site. Before in the previous cut we had 4 of these posts. Now we had just 2. Just kind of save some camera time. We already cut the sides and the front end, but we're going to cut the back end and then effectively pull the mat and then see whose stone we have. Excellent chance it'll be Biber's, but usually the spouse is located to the left or the right of the individual. But we'll see who it is, and here we go. Alright, so just in theory, we're going to pull the mat back, and then we're just going to keep the mat as clean as possible. We'll reveal the stone, and if we have to raise or reset the stone, we'll make an assessment once we actually are able to take a look at it. So just give you an initial look of what we have for the stone. It's pretty cool. It is Mr. Clemens Biber, and the inscription is exactly as read. So he's a World War I vet. He probably did some served in France. Born in November of 1892, and then passed away in September of 80. And then what we're going to do in the next cut is we're just going to determine how high we're going to raise this stone. Most likely have it level to the ground, make it easy for the folks maintaining the grounds, and then we'll go from there. We'll see you in a bit.
Good.
Alright folks, what you're seeing right now is Mr. Biber's stone. It's probably the first time in about at least 7 years since it was requested, and it may have been uncovered for at least 24 years or 20 plus years, based off the fact that there wasn't a photo behind it, or a photo associated with the respective site. So our intention is, Mr. Harmon and I, we're going to go ahead and clean off the stone, and then over time, the stone's probably going to look better just for the fact that it was naturally preserved under the ground for this long period of time. So we're going to give it a little washing, and then we'll do a final cut here after the fact.
Oh, you don't want to... I thought you wanted to record this.
Oh yeah, we're still recording.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It'll be whenever we're complete.
Well, you know, another month or so, this thing will brighten right up, man. Letters and numbers are not all filled.
Well, I think the roots got in it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of good.
A picture was never taken, huh?
Correct. Yeah, all the ones I've done of recent are the ones that are no picture but mentioned.
That's real good.
So like all the ones that we pulled up yesterday, they're no picture but there's a mention on the map. So now we can
Wash it down?
yeah. If you get it from up higher, so it gives a
Splash.
a little more force. Okay. And then I'll wipe it down. And then I'll dry it off.
Oh, yeah. Granite. So he served in France.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Unless that's where he was born. That's real nice.
I wonder if this was his hometown.
Either that or his wife's.
Because
All right, family and friends, we're back here, section 1 at Oakland Cemetery, kind of at the conclusion of locating Mr. Clemens Biber. Very short recap. This photo request was in Find a Grave in 2017. There was an attempt to locate the stone at the time. The stone couldn't be located. We had done what we kind of would consider a final attempt to locate this stone, which we did, and we found Clemens Biber right here, right behind his spouse's stone. And then we are able to GPS map it, confirm it with our cemetery map, and then we're going to take a final picture of this once the stone has dried off, post it to Find a Grave, and once that's complete, we should be good to go. But there's a lot of people that are involved that kind of help put this together as far as us being able to locate where the stone was, or help narrow down where the stone could have been or where it was not. So Miss Dawn Billick, who had the Find a Grave profile initially, and then Miss Chris, who put the photo request in, and then Miss Lotta, who actually went and did the initial attempt to locate the stone. And what that helps for us, or for the person who's going to attempt to find the stone the next time, is they will be able to use a process of elimination of where the stone is, or where it potentially could be, and definitely where it may not be. It saves them a lot of time and resources. So, got Clement Biber stone. I'll just get a final recap of it. Served in France, Corporal Company Bravo, 8th Infantry Regiment, World War I. Passed away in 1960. Got Miss Biber, passed away in 1967. Stones are finally set. We'll take a picture, on top picture, as well as a perspective shot. And along with this video is documentation to where these stones are. That will hopefully help the loved one or a family or a friend to help locate where these stones are. So we'll see you next time. Give us a like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section below, and we appreciate your support.